Russia was successful in two very big wars at the end of that last video, which makes me think that, Russia is going to be the power out of the Eastern Old World, even though they're technically a European nation, because China has lost two significant wars, not in a row, but they lost two significant wars, they lost a lot of land, and I don't know if they're going to be able to recover at this point. But the world will definitely be changing, probably within the next several months, maybe several weeks or days, because Iran is losing this war very badly to the Saudis, to the Indians, and to the Kazakhstani, which means that there might be a whole new power that rises out of the Middle East that Russia has to worry about. Russia's got some pretty good alliances up at this point. Who does not like Russia? China, Poland, Sweden, Germany, a lot of Europe, pretty much. But everyone outside of Europe, almost besides China, really likes what Russia's doing. I wonder, that could lead to some more interesting alliances that might form. Oh my gosh, another one. Portuguese-Argentinian punitive war, once again. And we just saw in the last video that the Europeans will go over and kick some butt if they need to in Latin America. They will not think twice about it. So that's kind of interesting. Uganda versus Rwanda? Interesting. Uganda versus Rwanda. Cool. And there it is. Iran has pretty much just been shoved back to normal, though. It's not really the worst thing for them. Saudis grabbed a lot of territory, and actually Kazakhstan didn't get anything. They just released Turkmenistan. Afghanistan's back. Pakistan is back. Really, all what happened was that the borders were shoved back to normal in the Middle East. So really, that gives anybody free reign to come back. I mean, the Saudis are a pretty big power now. I mean, they are actually, if you think about it, the only power left in the Middle East. I don't believe Pakistan's going to be able to recover without an alliance with somebody strong. The Saudis, the Egyptians have, the Egyptians did expand towards the south by quite a bit. Do they have good alliances? They're okay. I mean, Egypt might, I would say watch for Egypt. Egypt is a dark horse for the future. Definitely keep your eye on them. But the Saudis can roll over whoever they want now in the Middle East. Well, I mean, when is the peace deal up? Peace deal with the wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the wrong name. Yeah, Saudi right there in front of my face. Okay, so they have like 13 years or 12 years before that peace deal is up. They could always go after, no, they can't go after Turkey just yet. Can't go after Israel either, but if you want to press your luck, you could try. Again, somebody will. It'll probably take a long time, but somebody will go after Israel and South Korea. I just don't know who it is. And North Korea, which China will be protecting them. China's after Yarkand. Smart move, so they'll be slowly accumulating territory. Portugal's with three war score at the moment over Argentina. Yep, and here they come again. Europe is really just uniting to stop whatever happens in South America. They don't want anything out of South America. The Middle East and Africa can do whatever they want, but as soon as you mess with South America, that's when we have problems. That is not what I meant to do, but okay. Here's the development map mode. I guess we could look at this for a brief second. Yes, so the development is lower. It's definitely not as high as it is normally on present day, and part of the reason is because it's better. I can run speed 5. Look how fast I can run speed 5. Running, okay, well, right now we're at autosave, but running at a super, actually this isn't the fastest, and it all depends on what wars are going on at the moment. So since all these countries are at war, that's causing a little bit of a slowdown. But it does help that the development is a little bit lower than what it normally is, because I won't be able to run the game as fast. And again, it's not running that fast right now because of the big war that's happening, all the countries involved in a conflict. But that's always a good thing. So during peace deals, during times of peace, I can just rush through those months or years to get to the interesting stuff. So I very much enjoy the lower development. USA is looking real good for development. I don't know if anyone's going to really be able to catch them at this point. I mean, Russia controls a few green provinces, and there are small areas inside of Africa that have some really well-developed stuff too. Argentina looks good, actually. Argentina holds all the development in South America, and maybe that's why Europe is going after Argentina so hardcore. Could that be the reason? Seems like it. Okay, let me go back to normal here. Oh, Chad's got some alliances. That's pretty cool. -20. Right now, they're still at -20 war score. That's Portugal over Argentina, but I think that'll start to slowly change. Gambia, South Africa versus Kilwa. Lots of, and these African wars are going to continue to break out, but until there's like until there's less than like, 25 countries in Africa, it's really hard to, pay attention to the conflicts that take place. Eventually, this area will consolidate, and we'll see some interesting things happen out of, the 20 remaining powers. Bam, South Africa. South Africa's continuing to grow, and I love it. That's really cool. But yeah, until that point comes, we're gonna have to just kind of let Africa do their thing. Mali grew a little bit, looks like. Ooh, people going after Morocco. Kind of. Well, actually, they're going after Guinea. I think Morocco just came to help them out. And that's Morocco's biggest issue right now, is they've got no friends. So when Spain decides to go to war once again for more African territory, Morocco will be on the chopping block. I don't think there's anything that Morocco will be able to do to stop them. How's US doing? Just don't like Mexico. Oh, you hate Russia. Okay, there you go. So you dislike Russia. I think we could see a Russian-USA war. However, I don't know where that war would take place. There's no straight crossing up this way. There's some pirates up this way. I think the USA would drop troops off, depending on their navy in the Pacific. They might consider dropping a few troops off. India is still slowly consolidating, which I think France has done a much better job at kind of eating up some of the smaller nations that were released from French territory. I mean, Normandy's for sure gone. Obviously, there's still a few provinces, or a few nations down this way. But France has been pretty quick at eating back the smaller nations that were released. India's taken a long time to do that. Hey, India's now allied to Russia. So that could be a really big problem for China now, because China hasn't made any other friends. Diplomacy in subcontinent of India, in Russia, in all parts of the world has continued to develop. It continues to get better, but China's the same. Like, China is in a really tough spot. Uh-oh. Okay, these are all small countries. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't recognize that name or that name or that name, so I think they're going to be fine. I saw these guys were at war with 4 other, countries. I was like, uh-oh. Well, are you allied to anybody else? Who are your alliances, and who are you guaranteeing? Independence guaranteed by India, so India will protect them if they need to. Oh, and they're allied to Russia. Okay. Okay, so they're fine. This actually might be bait. If China were to declare war on them, they'd be fighting Russia and India at the same time. Yeah, so that would be just the death of China for sure. All right, so they've already peaced out and they're continuing to expand. They've peaced out with Bangladesh. I don't think they're going to be able to get to Bhutan. Wait, so, oh yeah, they do like each other, but why don't you have a friend? Why don't you have any alliances up? India's guaranteeing you. Oh, Myanmar is guaranteeing Vietnam, which is really smart, especially because Vietnam has no friends, but also because that would be a really... Oh, there it is. And there it is. Okay, so India, Russia versus China and Indonesia. This is a battle for... This is the battle of the powerhouses right here. This is Russia just declaring war on China. And Russia declared an offensive war, which means that they're not going to be able to call in all of their friends. They were just able to call in India. And boom, Spain and Portugal. Iberia once again uniting, this time after Tunisia, Morocco, and Chad. I'm interested to see how that's going to go. All right, this is big. Now, last time we saw this, I'm pretty sure we saw a very similar war last time around. Because Myanmar is not involved, that worries me a little bit. Because these guys, I don't know. These guys really put the pressure. I think because they're so deep, their location is so close to maybe valuable provinces that China controls. They're less likely to go and invade India or invade Russia. Maybe that's my assumption. Everything on the border of the Chinese Empire isn't really that, important. Or maybe there's just more fortification. Maybe that's it. There's more fortification near India and Russia. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. We'll see. All right, so these guys are just chilling now. they could still be called into the war now that they are in a peace deal. They're at peace, I guess. Spain's at 6 war score over Tunisia. Really interested to see what Spain is going to do. And if Spain can fight these forces, I mean, that's a lot to be fighting through. Libya's dealing with some Libyan pretender rebels. Surprised that Kazakhstan's not ready to get involved. Well, maybe they're a little nervous. I don't know. Okay, well, let's watch the war score. Russia's at -4. Really nothing too bad at the moment. Yeah, nothing detrimental. Now, I would be really shocked. Oh, they're at -1. I was going to say, I'd be very shocked if China made a comeback here and won this somehow. Oh, no, they're going to get demolished now. They're getting demolished. Drew, sometimes you just got to zoom in and look for yourself. Instead of looking at the numbers, looking at the war score, just zoom in and tell me what, and just say what you're seeing happening. Yarkand separatists. Did China go to war? When did China... Yarkand separatists. Did you never destroy those guys or what? How many Chinese regiments are in Russian territory? None. It doesn't look like any. Okay, so they've all been pushed back. Rebels are popping up in western Mongolia. Well, it's technically Chinese territory, but just west of Mongolia, I should say. These are all Yarkand separatists, right? Yes, they are. Okay, so we are going to see the collapse of China. I think it's safe to say. I mean, they would need to lose this really badly, though. It's not to the point where they'd lose it really badly. 8 war score is not that bad. Ethiopia versus who? I know that flag. I should know. Okay, Sudan. They're gonna need to, they need to lose this war really badly. It looks like that's going to happen if China can't regroup its regiments. If China doesn't hire some. I'm totally blanking. Mercenaries. There you go. I was gonna say missionaries, but I was like, wait, that's not right. Hire some missionaries. We're gonna send them religious artifacts to get them to stop fighting us. That would probably actually not a bad strategy at all. That's not a bad tactic, I think. Send them, send Putin some religious figures. I mean, this is not Putin at the moment, but I'm just saying. It is 2095, so I don't think any of our world leaders would be alive at this point. Have they stopped it at all? Nope, 16 war score. The Yarkand separatists are really not helping. Yep, yeah, China's done because, at this point, I don't see any sort of consolidation of their regiments to match anything that India or Russia is throwing at them. So China's going to lose this badly. Let's just see how badly China does lose it. And Russia very quickly, I think, is going to come into second place in terms of development. I don't believe they were second place last time we checked, but we will be checking in on the next video. But I think that, Russia, it's safe to say, should be in a nice second place spot. Although, we don't know how great the development is. Oh, there is development along the borders. Yeah, and Russia's going to be the ones that takes that. Mongolia has this pretty well-developed province here. Good for Mongolia. 13, not bad, not bad. What's some of these yellows? Anything over 20, right? Yeah. And then green will be over 30. That's almost a 40 development province. That's crazy. That is pretty good. I am so surprised that nobody else decided to join in. I guess Russia didn't want... Maybe Russia didn't want to call anybody else in. That's what I'm thinking. Notice India very clear with what territory they want versus what they're willing to give to Russia. So if Eastern China falls here, is that punitive war still going on? Okay, good. Mongolia versus Yarkand. Good for Mongolia. That's pretty cool. Hey, they're losing a little bit of war score. Down from 16, now at 11. Myanmar, at war with Indonesia now. Ooh, ballsy move there. Especially while, this is actually going to help the Indian-Russian war too. Distracting the Indonesian and AI a little bit. Maybe from stopping from blockades or stopping from sending over regiments. The problem for, Yeah, Indonesia was already here. So they're going to kind of essentially have to fight a two-front war. Ooh, there it is. They did... Okay, yeah, Russia took... Well, Russia already had control of this stuff, right? Is that... Yeah. Russia already had this court at one point. Theoretically, Russia was just taking back some of its cores, but if you look at what China had in this region, yeah, they lost quite a bit. And India grabbed more of the Himalayas. Just a little bit. They didn't get that much more, but just a little bit. China's in a tough spot, and does this guarantee now over North Korea even matter anymore? North Korea is allied to Japan still, something that I find very funny, which I think we might see, maybe Japan is the one that attacks South Korea. Japan versus the US. Okay, let's check on the other wars. Just in Africa. Very interested to see actually what happens with Indonesia. Indonesia no longer allied to China, which is a really big deal. Who does Indonesia turn to now? That is the next question. The thing is, I think Indonesia still has a really strong navy. So I don't know if anyone's going to be able to land on some of these islands out this way. This should be safe for the most part, I'm assuming. Ooh, okay. Another Eastern European war broke out. Actually, two different ones. Russia at war with Ukraine once again. Oh, man. Is Russia going to be stopped at this point? Will Russia be stopped? I don't know. So, yeah, several things happen. Pretty much everyone's at war with Romania. Everybody's at war with Romania at this point. Why is that? How did that happen, Romania? And Ukraine is at war with Russia, which is going to be a problem for them. Ethiopia's losing their war against Kenya. Yeah, and actually Indonesia's losing this by 26 war score, so that's kind of a big sign. Bulgaria, imperialist war. Why does Bulgaria... That's interesting. Bulgaria has so many friends in this. Why is that? Are people leaving the EU? They are, somewhat. We've got Slovakia. Is that it? Maybe that's why. That is why. Romania left the EU and they're pissed. You leave the EU and and you're gonna be declared war by the EU. Is the UK taking notes here? Because I would be really worried if this game is anywhere close to what would happen in the real world. Because that's what we've been seeing happening, is that the EU is just declaring war on anybody that's not a part of the EU. Oh, you want to leave the EU? Okay, well, we're going to come over there, and we're going to fight. We're going to fight it out. Anyways, we'll see what happens in the next one. Very interesting conflicts taking place right now. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I think that Romania is probably going to be either eliminated or forced back into the EU. We'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.